So, why aren't you experiencing your desired reality right now, despite the common law of attraction techniques? You're doing your mindset work, you're doing your business building activities every day, you're being productive, or so you think, yet the needle doesn't seem to move. You're experiencing resistance along the journey, and that resistance looks something like this. Situations keep popping up that are slowing down your ability to obtain your vision and goal. Let's say there's a delayed payment or plans get interrupted. Maybe your motivation is up and down. It could be your physical body is manifesting getting sick as you're up leveling. You know these types of resistances, and there are many more examples. It can get very frustrating. You may lose confidence and begin to question if all this really works and if this is really meant for you. Can you relate to what I'm about to describe next? Let's say you're in a particular business model and you don't see the results you seek after a while. Then you look towards another business model and you think, well, this model is better, and you study that one only to find the same results again. So then you go and invest more time and more money to study yet another business model, another technique, another strategy, and the results have not changed. Well, my friend, it is more common than you think. And what I can tell you is the universe is teaching you something. It is showing you that if you have exhausted seeking solutions outside of yourself, and you have essentially backed yourself up against the wall, so to speak, because you have studied all you can, even with the most reputable teachers, and you've invested as much money as you can, and yet there is still this thing that's missing. It feels elusive, doesn't it? It's hard to put your finger on what this thing is. What if I were to tell you that this thing you're looking for that will make all the difference for you is found deep within yourself, hands down? You just need the guidance on where to look within and how to look within to find the answers. Now, you may have remembered from a previous video where we took a deeper dive into energy in relation to realities. There's an energy to the current reality, and there's an energy to a desired reality, right? Well, I have found throughout the years working with leaders and teams within various industries that there are energetic, vibrational anchors, and I call them anchors for a reason, that weigh a person down in their current reality, and it prevents them from flowing into the energy of their desired reality. So let's get right into it. Here are my top 10 vibrational energetic anchors that keep a person stuck in the energy loop of their current reality. Number 1, your identity, albeit unconsciously, is still anchored in a victim mindset. It sounds something like this: such and such made me feel or do such and such. You see how this identity gives away their power to things outside of themselves all the time, instead of claiming their power and taking radical responsibility for all results in their life and business. The opposite of this mindset is to first acknowledge, I got myself here and I take full responsibility. This is on me. Whenever there is a pointing of the finger to blame something or someone outside of self, this is a big indicator that the desired identity, who is living the desired reality, isn't embodied yet. And actually, that person needs to still discover who that version of themselves is. Vibrational anchor number 2. There is a habit of focusing on what is not versus what is, and it dominates that person's consciousness. In essence, this person is acknowledging the lack in any given situation and has a vibrational tone of lack. While the desired reality is most likely on the opposite end of the frequency spectrum, like that of abundance, love, wealth, recognition, health, significance. It's essentially feeling more like heaven is already on earth. Note this, we manifest according to our unconscious vibrational tones more than anything. You've heard of the saying, we mainly attract who we are versus what we decide what we want. We attract what we embody versus what we think on a purely mental level. Number 3, there is a habit of focusing more on what you don't want versus what you do want. Remember that a person goes through on average 70,000 thoughts on any given day. That's a lot of thoughts. What do you think is a percentage of those thoughts that are focused only on what they want versus a repeat of yesterday's or last year's thoughts? The number is pretty high. It's around 80%. Interesting, huh? Makes one think. Vibrational anchor number 4. Trauma needs to be released from the physical body. Traumas are trapped emotions or frequencies in the body that are attracting unwanted things and repelling desired things. Most likely, the person is not consciously aware they have this energy in them because they have spent a lifetime learning how to cope with the pain of the trauma instead of facing it and healing it. Remember, if you want to know the secrets of the universe, understand frequency, vibration, and energy. Once a person learns how to release this stuck emotion through healing, that person moves more into flow towards the desired reality. So trauma is a big one. Now, I want to point out that trauma does not necessarily mean a big horrific event like 9/11. It could be any event that was overwhelming and has shocked the person's nervous system. Examples of this could be like a deep betrayal, a financial loss, or constantly being bullied in childhood. Number 5, negative judgments of other people and of yourself is taking up your bandwidth with source energy, with God. We all have a certain level of connection with God and source universal energy, depending on how we have opened up and evolved spiritually. When we carry negative judgments of other people, we are utilizing our energy in something that will not yield a positive return. We can consciously choose to channel our energy in more productive ways, like problem solving and creative thinking, for example. Negative self-judgment, which usually comes in the form of comparing oneself to others, is a vibrational anchor. It can sound like internal chatter that says, this person is so much more ahead of me, or that person has this and I don't have that. There's a lot to be said about judgment. Just know that when we judge others in a negative light, most likely it is because there is an aspect of them that we don't want to see in ourselves. I know. Ouch. Another hard pill to swallow along your transformational journey. So if judgment does persist within your mind and heart, don't fret. There is an opportunity to look within and heal what needs to be healed within yourself. Vibrational anchor number 6, harboring resentments due to past hurts. There is a reason why the late, great teacher Bob Proctor said, one of the 11 forgotten laws of the universe is the law of forgiveness. Keeping these resentments anchors a soul in the present moment to something of the past, making it difficult to assume the energy of the desired reality destined for the future. Resentments are a definite vibrational anchor. Number 7, you are surrounded by negative people and or negative situations in your life and or business, and they're all holding you back. Napoleon Hill wrote extensively about negativity and fear in Think and Grow Rich. So much so, he wrote more extensively about it in his book, Outwitting the Devil. Very deep book. As your energy changes and raises to higher frequencies, you may find what was normal before in terms of your acquaintances and surroundings will no longer feel normal to you. A transformational entrepreneurial journey can feel lonely at times as we change energetically. Embrace it. Don't fear it. Just understand that as people naturally remove themselves from your life, that vacuum will be filled up again by other people and environments more in line with where you are headed, and celebrate that. Remember that water seeks its own level. We may unconsciously hold on to these people and environments that no longer serve us out of fear. You can also check out my videos on how to handle fear. Number 8, there are unconscious programs in your DNA and RNA that are in opposition to your vision and goal. It has been scientifically proven that we carry 5 generations of programming in our DNA and up to 50 generations of programming in our RNA. The effects of trauma, thoughts, feelings, attitudes can definitely come from our ancestral programming. Now, you don't have to reprogram everything within your ancestral line in order to flow into the energy and frequency of what you desire. That is where your superconscious level of thinking comes into play. Learning how to utilize superconscious level of thought is extremely powerful and efficient. It definitely collapses time frames and allows a soul to advance in their learnings with more ease and grace. Number 9, ignoring the emotional level of intelligence along your journey will end up becoming a big vibrational anchor in your life. This is a big one. We tend to think about mindset as just that, mind and thought, which partially it is true. Emotion is a huge factor, and I find it is often overlooked. It tends to look like this. You feel a negative emotion and you decide to ignore it because it's not quote unquote good to focus on negative emotions. So the emotion is suppressed, and as a way to cope with not dealing with the pain, a coping mechanism is developed. If we can only sit long enough and be present with our physical bodies and just feel everything. Acknowledge all emotions. For us to do this, we will gain so much more wisdom more quickly and move on to next stages of life and business. Emotional skill is one of the main keys to manifestation. It's in the feeling that we dial in on the realities we want to create. Emotion is energy in motion, and emotion tells us what frequency we are in. That frequency is either in harmony with what we want or what we don't want. I cannot stress enough how important it is to cultivate emotional intelligence. Emotions give us clues as to what unconscious programs are keeping us from fully assuming the frequency of the desired reality. The key is not to ignore them, it's actually to address them, these negative emotions, make peace with them, and transmute them into the frequency of the desired reality. There is a difference. Remember, it's not about ignoring negative emotions, it's about getting really good at addressing them. The 10th vibrational anchor is when there is too much attachment to the physical realm, and it sounds something like this. Once I have blank, then I will feel fill in the blank. Do you see how there's an attachment to, let's say, sales, or an attachment to a person or a circumstance? Like, once I have a spouse or a boyfriend or girlfriend, then I will feel loved. Or once I have more sales or more money, then I'll feel secure. If someone goes along this type of mindset, then the physical realm will always dictate the energy that a person is in, essentially giving away their power. Anyone can originate any thought and emotion independent of any circumstance. Plain and simple. It takes training and it takes guidance. So this isn't simply about being positive and negative. This is about becoming whole, learning soul lessons, and personal mastery. I hope you found this video very enlightening. I would love to hear what your greatest takeaways were. And if you have any questions, go ahead and place them in the comments below. Make sure you like and subscribe and hit that notification button so you know when the next video is being released. And I'll see you at the next one.